Good evening. Welcome to Swag Her Magazine, where this segment is the in between. I'm your host, Lachey Young, and today I've been saying it every Thursday. I got a special guest, but it is true. I have a very, very special guest. It is my first goddaughter, and today we are going to talk about the after, the after of domestic violence. Um, Alicia, would you like to go ahead and introduce your beautiful self?
Yes, I am Alicia. I am the oldest god baby. um, and I was a victim of domestic violence for the past 6 years. So happy to be here, happy to unravel, happy to talk about healing and the aftermath of it all.
And like I said before we started, if it's anything that you need to pause, take a moment, just let me know. We're on your time. And for any viewers, if you just watch and go along, we're not going through the before. We are focused
Mhm.
on the after so that this will hopefully be able to help someone else because I am a firm believer everything we go through in life is really to help someone else. Okay,
Yes.
so we're going to jump in. Like I said, let me know. Okay.
Okay.
All right. When you look at your life now, what feels most different from who you were then?
Um, Happiness. I think back then it was easy to say that I was happy. Just with what I guess was available to me at the time. As time went on and I healed and just worked more on myself, focused in on myself, I realized that I was neglecting a lot of the things that actually made me fulfilled and truly happy. And that the things that I thought were making me happy in the past weren't actually pieces of happiness at all. So um, my days are much brighter now. I actually had someone ask, like, how do you handle stress? I don't really have much stress now. So just happiness.
Yeah. What was the moment you realized you deserve more?
Ooh. Um, I realized the last encounter that I had, I did end up in the hospital. When I was sitting in the hospital, there was a fear that I was not going to survive another day. There was also thoughts of every year, except the first one of that relationship, I had actually visited the hospital. When I looked back on my medical records and just hospital visits, they were always due to injury. Um, they were always due to some sort of domestic violent situation that had to, take place. Took place. And just wanting, there was like a turning point. Right after Christmas of 2024, where I'm really big on holidays. I didn't
Mhm.
put up a Christmas tree. I didn't buy any gifts. And so there was a shift mentally, um, definitely before I left physically. And I think that I had just became very tired of overextending me and I just wanted to exist as me. I wanted to be who I was. I wanted to be able to dive into myself as much as I was diving into the other person, and put myself first. And so I think once I realized that every year was something, it didn't matter how hard I tried to change this person or anything of that sort, it still was going to be. It was a big sign for me that, through prayer and things, that this was not where I was meant to be. And there was a new chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew there was definitely, it was definitely time to close the book on that. So,
What does peace mean to you today?
ooh. So I am, of course, single. So peace looks very different in every aspect of life. Um, but I guess in the relationship aspect, peace is not responding right away to every text, not feeling like I have to answer every call, being able to take the time. I have days actually throughout the week where I do my own personal Bible studies. I don't attend a church or anything like that. I just sit for an hour with myself, read and take notes on different scriptures. Um, I do the things that I enjoy. I sing in a choir now that is, again, not necessarily in the church, but for the community. There's time for me, and I find peace in the things that make me truly happy. Peace is really not something that is as hard as the world makes it.
Yeah.
I think some people are driven by chaos.
Hmm.
Um, they need those things to feel, I guess, like a thrill in life. And because I had been through things for so long where it was always chaotic, I think for a while it became my norm. Um, but now that I'm stepping into a different phase of life, peace is those quiet moments, pieces, doing the things that I love, singing, writing, reading, just even slow mornings, slow days. So,
Simple things.
yeah.
If you could hug the version of yourself who was still in that relationship, what would you say to her?
um, that you are not stuck. Um, you do have options. You have a choice. You have a voice. You have the right to protect yourself. I think for a long time I felt very guilty in moments where, maybe the police was needed, or maybe family members were needed, or I needed to reach out for help, and I was very scared to do so. I would definitely give her a hug and tell her that you are worth it. Self esteem was very, very low. Confidence was very low. I would speak life into my old self. I would definitely reassure her, and let her know that one person's perspective and thoughts of you does not dictate who you are.
Yeah.
You can always restart and try again. So,
Anytime you want to.
yes.
Um, Leaving isn't always a single decision, it's often a process. What made it hard to let go?
um, I think anyone who is involved in domestic violence relationships don't have the luxury of being able to part ways with something and it be peaceful. Um, I think when you choose that you are tired, there is always, something standing at the door where it's like, are you ready to fight? Are you ready for all your things to be broke? Are you ready for, the materials? I think for me, I definitely was in my own home. It was my responsibility, and there was a big scare sometimes that I would lose it all. I would be responsible for so many things. And it just got to a point where I had to say, these are materials.
Yeah,
They can be replaced, but you can't. And so I think the hardest part for anyone involved in domestic violence is knowing that you can cut anything off when you want to, but you just have to be ready. You never know how that person is going to react, if that makes sense.
it definitely makes sense.
Yes.
What did you have to unlearn about love?
Ooh.
Oh,
I had to unlearn. There was a time where it's crazy because actually when I parted ways from the situation, I went through my camera roll and I started deleting things, and I recognized very quick that there was a pattern in my camera roll. Um, there was moments where it was like everything was good. That probably only lasted for about 3 weeks. And then after that, here were the sad posts, the sad, saving the memes.
yeah,
And then soon after that, maybe there were messages, screenshots from things that I had found. And then soon after that, there were bruises, and then it would start all over again. I had to unlearn that someone fighting you, it's going to sound so awkward, but someone fighting you and then apologizing after the fact is not okay. It's not love. It doesn't matter how much a person expresses that. I ultimately had to learn that love does not hurt physically, mentally, especially physically. And I fell into the pattern a lot where we would go through those things and then it would start over again. And it's like, oh, but they love me because they're choosing to be okay for what, 3 weeks? And then we were right back at it again. So I had to unlearn that someone fighting for you or fighting you even was not love. Love does not hurt at
No,
all.
at all. How did you separate love from attachment?
Okay, so towards the end of me parting ways with that situation, there was some infidelity. Of course, we could guess that a lot of
Right.
abusers are doing things behind the scenes. And there was something I had went on for some time where I couldn't really wrap my mind around it. It had made me, you know, I guess a little weary in my self esteem and all of those things, like confidence wise, wasn't there. Comparison, all of that. I'm not ashamed to say that. But um, there was a point where I had got so fed up that I actually had talked to this person. Um, and just hearing them speak was enough for me. And it was just like, not to sound like that, but it was like, we are definitely not in the same bracket. Like your type is not where you are.
Right.
And so I think attachment wise, it became very easy to realize that I was a little bit too high in your caliber, if that makes sense. And so it was very easy to, I always say it like I definitely feel like I lost the attachment first, and then the love just kind of trickled away after that. As they say, like you normally leave mentally before you do physically, and that's exactly what happened. It was easy. I think all my family members would tell you they very much knew that I loved this person. They knew that I would drop whatever to go help them out, do whatever. I was always organized when it came to their schedules, making sure they had what they needed. I just know that my mom would even say, like, yeah, you definitely love that person. But I think after a while, when I started to realize that I could love a person, but if they're not giving me the same love back, is it really love or are you attached?
Yeah.
And I think even after the separation, there were certain things in life like, grocery stores, TV shows, all of those things where it's like, dang, like I missed that, like this is sad. I don't want to watch that. But then I realized that these are forms of your attachment. So once you can let those go,
Mhm. I'm
oh,
so
you
proud.
got it. You got it.
I'm so proud of you. Um, After everything, how did you begin recreating yourself? Which is the whole reason we're here.
Ooh, coming home at first, I felt like um, I had to unlearn patterns that I had experienced for the past 6 years. I did not realize for a while that I was still operating in the same patterns. I had to become very familiar with being back at home with my family and just my friends and people who love me and understanding the meaning of true safety. Um, I think sometimes people would give me advice and I would become very combative, just thinking like, someone's trying to take advantage again or can I trust you? I remember coming home too, and it still happens sometimes. If I'm frustrated, someone tries to hug me and it's a little too quick, it's like, nope. So trust is an everyday process, I feel like, for me. Um, but over the summer, I had a really bad encounter um, that did not make me happy. It didn't make me proud. I felt like I was hurting the people around me. I wasn't managing my, communication. I wasn't managing my feelings well at all. I was hurt. I was also not only grieving the loss of the relationship, I was grieving being hurt physically. I was grieving losing everything, starting over, being back at home. And I took some time. I actually had a conversation with my mom, and my mom kind of gave me some insight to let me know, just some things about life. And one of the things she said was, you are in full control of how you react, but you do not control how other people treat you. And I think coming out of my situation, that's a big thing, because you're with someone and you love them, you want them to treat you nice, but they don't, and you're just like, I wish that I could, like, make this okay. But I had to learn that outside of all of that. And from that moment on, I started deep diving into things that, like the choir. I had went back to that. I started doing things. It sounds crazy, but alone.
Yeah.
I stopped hanging in every environment. I stopped feeling like I needed to go to every invitation. Um, I didn't hang out every time the friends went to hang out. Alcohol was also a big thing. I took a break from that. Um, I didn't want to pour my emotions into things that weren't healthy for me, nor were they healthy outlets.
Yeah.
Um, and so over the summer, I attended a revival. I started back in the choir. I started the Bible study. I just started doing things. I enrolled back into school. Sorry, I missed that. That was a big thing for me too, and it kind of kept my mind busy enough to see, like, I'm indulging in things that are only going to help me grow.
Yep.
They weren't pointless things that didn't make sense. They weren't sitting at bars where it was like, okay, well, what is this going to be? How is this going to benefit you in a year?
Yeah.
My brother was also very encouraging, and he told me, he said, if you can sit still and be disciplined and dive into yourself for the next 6 months, you'd be surprised how much progress you will make. And he was absolutely right. But that turning point happened over the summer of last year, and now here we are.
Yeah. I'm gonna always be proud of you. Let's see. What parts of you? What parts of you had to be rediscovered? I know one.
Mm.
Your singing.
Yes, singing was one. That was a big thing. My faith, I would say, I felt like, religious, whoever anybody believes in, when you grow up a certain way, which I am a Christian, I felt like I had drifted away from God for a long time. Um, and after it was all over, I felt ashamed to even go to God. Like, hey, need your help. But faith had to be rebuilt. Confidence definitely had to be rebuilt. Um, you actually, when I talk to you, you're like, affirmations, affirmations, affirmations. And I did do that. I stood in the mirror and I told myself I was pretty, beautiful, and all the good traits that I knew. But the biggest one that I would say is, I didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
And that sounds so crazy, because it's like when you are with a person, like, yeah, you're with them for some time, but you knew who you were before them. But it is amazing how years or even months or weeks or whatever can take you into a different direction where you lose completely who you are.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I had to rebuild that. I had to go find that again.
Yeah. And it happens. It happens even if it's not a domestic relationship. You can get married
Mm-hmm.
and lose your identity, have
Yep.
kids and lose your identity. So
Yep.
it's something that definitely happens very often, especially with Black women.
Yeah.
How do you protect your energy now? I think you kind of tapped on it a little bit earlier, but I'm gonna ask
Hmm.
you.
Mm. I wake up every day and I declare it a good day.
Yeah.
Um, the morning might not go too well. Might run into every obstacle that there is. But when I woke up, I declared it a good day. I don't let it shift my entire day. I used to do that a lot. If I woke up and I was feeling uneasy, the whole day was bad.
Yeah.
I don't allow myself to sit too long in it. Um, I don't hang around people who have negative energy.
Yeah.
um, the circle has definitely gotten a lot smaller, but with very intentional people.
Hmm.
Um, People who understand that this is a journey for me, and that vice versa. I understand their journey for them. There's not any judgment, but we do keep each other. We hold each other accountable. But the negativity, I feel like, is a big one. I don't go to. areas or places anymore that no longer serve me purpose.
Yeah.
Um, Parties, just areas, that certain mindsets and certain people are in. I think that I have done a lot to get to this place, and I never want to lose sight of that. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Um, so you already okay. How did you learn to trust again, especially yourself?
um, That was a big thing when I first started this journey too, because of course I had lost trust for people, just given what I had been through, but I became very frustrated with myself because I felt like I didn't pick the best person. I didn't make the best decisions, you know. I went back when I should have moved on. I didn't always do things the right way. And I know that people, tend to share grace in those moments, but for an individual, sometimes you do get frustrated with yourself and you have to forgive yourself.
Hmm.
I learned that over the summer. The choir that we attend is also like a mentor group a little bit. So we do touch base on real life things and things that are going on in our lives. And one of the messages was you have to forgive the other person, but then I want you to forgive yourself too. And I didn't realize that it was a two-part thing for a long time. Um, so I did. I took it easy with myself. And at first, rebuilding trust with myself was exactly hanging by myself. If I
Hmm.
don't encounter anyone, then I can't make any mistakes.
Yeah.
Um, if I don't go anywhere, then it's likely that I'm going to stay out of trouble.
Right.
Um, Therapy was a bit. I did touch base on that at first, and surprisingly, I lost the therapist the same time I joined the choir.
Hmm.
So I stayed very rooted in the people, my mom, my family, the choir director, the people of the choir, my friends, you. I stayed very close to them and their advices because I knew that they wouldn't steer me any differently than what God would. And so over time, I became a little more comfortable. I became comfortable being around, other people. I started to see myself be okay with going to eat by myself and things that I would never do. I started to build confidence in myself. And I didn't date for a long time. And then I decided to start dating. And that was a whirlwind because it's like I had this new mindset where, like, my mom would be like, you cut people off too quick.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
but But in my perspective, I had been through so much. I was like, no, I know what my person is going to look like. Like I
Yeah.
know what makes sense to me and what does not. And there were some absolute no's, and there were some okay maybe, but um, I just started to trust myself a little bit more and really dig deep into my heart and the things that I wanted from my life. So it became very easy to trust myself. And then of course, like my family and stuff, I trusted them. They had been with me from day one. But and the trust is there for others. I have developed this mindset that I trust you until you give me a reason not to. I don't want to walk around just being like, I don't trust you, I don't trust you, I don't trust you. But until you give me a reason not to. And then from there, I don't feel like it's a argument or even necessarily too much of a conversation. It's just like, okay, you cool, but it's not my cup of tea.
I love that now. At first, I ain't mind cutting nobody off, but now I'm like,
Right.
I don't want to make people that didn't do anything be punished for what
Right.
someone else did. So I'm
Right.
with you. I'm with you. What does thriving mean to you today?
Thriving is every day to me. You wake up, each day does look different. Sometimes the day might look like two steps back, sometimes it may look like 10 steps forward. It's all a part of the process. I think sometimes when people think of the word thriving, they think they're supposed to constantly move forward. No, it's those rough days that feel like everything's going wrong. um, it's the days that you do feel a little lonely, or you do feel like a year ago was so different.
Mm.
Or I miss my space. I miss this, I miss that. It's those days where you have to really sit with yourself and you have to be like, okay, we sat in it long enough. What's next? Thriving for me, I graduate in December, which is very good. Good for me finally.
Mhm.
Um, so every day is school, every day is work. I don't necessarily again have time to go and be apart. Thriving sometimes is a isolation in a way. But it's continuing to move forward even when you want to look back.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
thriving.
yeah. What boundaries do you have now that you refuse to negotiate?
Don't yell at me.
Yeah, yeah,
I cannot do not yell at me. Boundaries. I save some of me for me. Um for a long time it's like, oh, let me do this for you, or I gotta do this for this person. And then by the time you know it, the day's over, I only got 5 minutes left to myself.
tell your
You
mother that.
know. Huh?
Tell your mother that.
Yeah. So so yeah, save some of me for me. I don't run to Don't get me wrong. I feel like certain emergencies, yes, we absolutely need help. But every emergency is not, every person's emergency is not my emergency. I have
Absolutely.
to be supportive, you know. Sometimes boundaries too for me, as crazy as it sounds, if I'm exhausted and I've had a long day, it's as simple as someone might be calling and I'm not answering. um, I'm relaxing now. I'll catch you
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah,
Yeah, there are a lot of boundaries, but I would say the number one thing is saving some of me from me, and, you know, not letting anyone interfere with that. If I have an assignment due, the boundary is I can't come hang with you.
yeah.
And the people who are for me are going to understand that. And if you don't, you don't. But we don't get to just say, forget our responsibilities.
I used to sound just like a boundary, so I'm proud of you. Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who knows they deserve better but feels stuck?
Hmm. Um, well, first thing, we weren't born stuck. No, you won't always be stuck. Stuck is a feeling. And a lot of times, I even forgot this, that you do wake up each day and you have the choice.
Yeah,
You can control, where you stay. You can control where you are. You can control how you move. Um, Stuck is absolutely a feeling. It's due to circumstance. And if you don't like it, you have the power to change it.
yeah,
Um, I would also say, hopefully that person has a support system. If you ever feel stuck, sometimes it takes a lot of maturity. I'm not going to lie, because sometimes I would run into not necessarily disagreements, but I would fight back with the people that I knew were really my support system. When I was in a battle between my heart and my feelings, like
yeah,
what was right versus where I really wanted to be. So I would tell that person, lean into your support system, even
yeah,
if it's things that you don't want to hear. um Lean into those people that you really trust wholeheartedly, that they have the best intentions for you. And another thing that comes with that too is I had to stop listening to the advices of people who weren't where I wanted to be. You can't take advice from someone about being stuck if they feel stuck too. It's not gonna work. So you need to, find out who your role models are in a way.
yeah.
That are even though that's your family or friends, like look at them and look at whose life makes sense and really dive into them. And if you trust them, lean into that.
Mhm. They always say you got to hang with the people you want to be like.
Yes. Yep.
It doesn't mean you want their life, but they may have reached a place in their life.
That's like
Part
what
of
they say too. Um, Even in relationships too, like sometimes people would take advice, and now your friends sometimes they know what they're talking about, but for marriages specifically, like you take advice from single people who are doing God knows what, and they're telling you how your marriage should work, and it's like you gotta go
I
to
tell people too,
like-minded areas.
if you married and you want some advice, go talk to somebody that's divorced because they're gonna tell you what not to do.
Yes,
Okay,
like-minded areas.
baby, I can tell you a whole lot of what not to do.
Right, right, right.
Let's see. What part of your story are you most proud of?
Not just surviving, but actually living. Um, there was a time where I felt like every day I was waking up and it was surviving. I was doing whatever I needed to do just to survive. And now this feels like while I still do the things that I have to do to survive, of course, it's not just surviving, it's living. Like I'm living in everything that I ever imagined for myself. I'm deep diving into things that I never thought I'd do again, but I really love. Building connections with amazing people. Um, yeah, I wouldn't have been able to have all these amazing people around me. There would have been a whole controlled thing back then. Just living. Like I feel like I am living and I don't have to live for anyone else but myself. And I'm so happy and proud of that for me.
Yeah, timing is everything, and everything happens in the time it's supposed to. I do believe that.
Yes.
Who are you becoming right now?
Well, we are becoming a cybersecurity graduate. We are deep diving into the tech side. I'm becoming a techie. Um, I am becoming who God destined for me to be. Um, I'm finally walking the path that was designed for me. I'm not taking detours.
Hmm.
I'm not turning corners. I'm not peeking around corners. I'm not, you know, questioning where I am supposed to be. I'm walking in my true purpose now. And my and my true happiness. And even with the go-kart thing, man, I'm reliving my childhood memories. Like I am living. I'm I'm walking freely and I'm having a ball.
Yeah, as you should, because life is already serious enough. You
Yes.
got to be able to have fun, laugh, learn, build, create, and keep going, keep
Hmm.
redoing it, repeat, repeat, and repeat.
Repeat, repeat. Yeah, we run across some you always run into problems. Everybody's gonna run into an
Everybody.
issue here and there. That's
Yeah.
life here. But I'm not making life harder than what it has to be, if that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, it probably ain't ever gonna make sense.
Mhm. Right.
So
You got your mama brain, so you'll know. You know.
yeah. Yep, discernment. We are
Uh-huh.
definitely using that. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay,
Yeah.
so we have finished all of our questions. The last
Okay.
thing I want you to do is one, tell people how, if you wanted to, follow you, hear your voice, because I love
Mhm.
your voice, to be able to read your stories that you've been writing, that I'm so proud of you for doing. And then I want you to speak to any woman that may be a teen, young adult, grown, adult women, right?
Mhm.
Um, Speak to them and what you will want them to know and how it is possible to get on
Mhm.
the other side. Now, everything you said is said it, but I
Mhm.
want to kind of sum it so we can have
Okay.
it almost last remark.
All right. So first things first, I am on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. TikTok and Instagram is _@ love. It's LUVVV, yours, YOURS. So yes, follow me on there. I will definitely give you guys a follow back. That's where all my stories that she's speaking about have been posted, and we live on TikTok, so come and join us for our gym, our choir practice, all of it. And then Facebook, of course, is Alicia Colbert. It's ALESHA. Last name COLBERT. There are two pages, unfortunately, because I got locked out of the other one. Um, but yes, this one has a black and white photo, I believe. So go with the
Okay.
black and white photo one. Um, And then my message to anyone who is battling, domestic violence or being in a relationship that not doesn't serve you purpose, or even a setting that no longer serves you purpose, work, anything. Um, Trust yourself. If you think about, if every day you wake up and you know, or it crosses your mind that this is not meant for you, you can't keep doing this, then that is probably absolutely right. Um, Love does not hurt. No one. Safety is really the bare minimum. I had to learn that as well. We started talking about just bare minimums more recently, and we want the love, we want the flowers, we want all that stuff. But I think we forget that, like, respect, safety, keeping your hands to yourself is the bare
Something
minimum.
very free. Something very
Yeah,
free.
these are very free. Um, don't be scared. Um, you don't question yourself either. I had to learn to as well, and this goes for all of you guys. There are scenarios where you may feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done this because it caused that person to do that. Absolutely not. You could do whatever and say whatever to that person. There is no reason for anyone to raise their hands or put you in harm's way. They do not have power over your life. Um, and continue to, like I said, if you have the support system, lean into the support system. But outside of that, develop that trust for yourself. Don't second guess the feelings that you're feeling. If you wake up every day and the month has gone by and you only felt happy one of those days, there's a problem.
Yeah.
There's absolutely a problem. Don't ever second guess that, and don't make excuses for it. If you don't do it to them, they shouldn't do it to you.
Yeah.
It's very simple. I know that it can seem very complex when you're in the situation, but you will make it on the other side. And that chapter sometimes is to provide you with all the things that you are going to have on the other side. I don't wish that on anyone, but I do believe that my journey happened for a reason, and it's made me stronger. It's created a person who has learned to love themselves. And sometimes that's what people are lacking. And I wouldn't go back if someone paid me to.
Yeah.
So just know that sometimes that chapter has to close, and you may get a whole new book. And when you do, you run with it as far as you can, and you live in it. And, just enjoy life. Life is beautiful and way too hard to be going home every day to be mistreated. So trust yourself.
And I thank you for being, because it is a very vulnerable place. And I was
Hmm.
waiting for you to start writing. So when I seen you writing, I said,
Yeah.
yeah, why not go next? Um, because I do feel, like I said earlier, I do feel like the stuff we go through um, does help someone else, because it may be someone that only your voice can reach
Yes.
versus someone that my voice can reach. Everybody has
Right.
their cup of tea, you know?
Yep.
Um, and it's certain things that I know when we were younger going through domestic violence, we didn't really, I know for me, you didn't have someone you really could talk to,
Right.
because nobody wanted to talk to that. It was taboo, or you
Yeah.
didn't know what to say, or or it was a reason why your child was going through
Hmm.
certain things. So to be in this age and to be able to have the um, segments and the social media where you can voice whatever you want to,
Yes.
it's
Like
going
an
to reach
outreach.
somebody. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it's going to reach somebody, and somebody's going to be able to take that and
Yeah.
possibly save their lives. There's so many people.
And it's very
Um,
common. That was like another thing too. It shouldn't be, but it is something that is very common. I've actually encountered people who, they are, very well off now, they're good, they're out of the situation, but they'll casually be like, "Oh yeah, I used to go through that." Like, what? So I think people sometimes try to forget those parts of their lives, and it does change you. But I hope that everyone makes the choice for it to change you in the positive ways. Don't sit in it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like your voice is going to go really, really far, not just for this, but I
Hmm.
do feel like your voice is going to go really, really far because you are transparent with it and you actually
Hmm.
have steps, even though it might not be an A, B, C, D. You give
Yes.
steps of how you got to from there to here. And
Hmm.
I love the light that I see in your face. I
Oh, thank
love
you.
hearing you. I love the story that you told because it was your story and nobody can tell
Right.
you. And when you're able to be vulnerable and share your story, nobody can hold you hostage anymore.
Right.
Guilt can't exist, shame can't exist because
Right.
you put it out there, which is why I live by being transparent.
Yeah.
Can't hold nothing against me. I'll tell you everything.
Right.
Um, but I am very, 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 very proud of you. I am so happy that you are my
Thank
first
you.
goddaughter. And I love you. I cannot wait to see everything that you plan to do, want to do, are going to do, accomplish. I can't wait to see you doing your speaking engagements. I can so
Yeah.
see you at Essence Festival and all these other places, sitting on the stage with other actors and being that spokesperson for
Yeah.
young women that have no clue on what to do, because a lot of people don't make that was already say. It's a young lady, she stays in my mind every time I know someone that has went through domestic violence. Even though I've went through it and plenty of my friends have went through it, my kids have been through it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
one girl who stays in my mind because she tried to get away and she didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think I was in my 20s when that happened. So I'm
Yeah.
46. She stays in my head rent free. Um, but I'm happy that that's not your story. I'm happy that that wasn't the story that we have to speak, and I'm very proud,
Yes.
very, 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 very
Mhm.
proud of you. And I love you so very much.
Thank you. Love
Thank
you
you for
too.
trusting me with your story on my new
Yes.
segment. Um, so you guys can catch me every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please remember, I love you. We love you. Please,
Yes.
please, please, please love yourself first. You
Yes.
first, everybody else afterwards. Okay?
Everything else after.
Everything. That's what Aquarius speaking. Okay?
Yes.
All right, guys. Tune in next week. Make sure you go follow Alicia. I promise you, if she's singing, you will be blessed. This child been singing since she was a little girl. Okay? So with maturity, the age, the voice get better and better. So go bless yourself. Okay? See you guys next week.
See ya.